ninth graders, I'm Natalie Havens. I'm your school counselor if your last name starts with L through Z.
And I am Kimberly Richards, and I'm your school counselor if your last name starts with A through K.
We're coming to you virtually now to give you a lesson, and we're going to be coming to you each month with a new lesson. We do wish we could see you face to face, but this year we will be virtual. Today we're going to talk about motivation and learning about your GPA. Our hope is that you'll sit with us, review this lesson with us, gain some knowledge, feel supported, and of course, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us. So what is motivation and what affects it? Our positive feelings increase our motivation and our negative feelings decrease motivation. I want you to take just a little bit of time right now to think about how your thoughts affect your motivation. There are different cognitive factors or your thoughts that affect motivation. Things like achievement goals and how you think you'll learn or you'll perform, the grades that you might earn in classes. There are different expectations that affect your cognitive factors or your thoughts for motivation. That's the belief that you can achieve, or maybe the belief that other people have for you, your parents or friends or teachers. Those expectations that they set on you really affect your motivation. Your interest, your personal or situational interest in a topic, in a subject, in something that you're doing really affects your motivation. And of course, the value, the belief that your performance has an actual reward. Whether that is a grade that you care about that will eventually affect a report card or a transcript or a college application or a job, all of those in that line affect your motivation. And I'd like you to make sure you think about how your thoughts, how those factors really affect you and affect your schoolwork and affect your overall life. What causes lack of motivation? And the two main factors are the low self-esteem and the lack of support. So if somebody has a low self-esteem in something, they tend to avoid a certain activity out of fear. When they also feel like they're perhaps alone in something and don't have friends or parents or anybody else to support them, you could tend to steer away from that certain aspect of your life. Finding what motivates you this year is more important than ever. Ninth grade year is a huge transition year, which is why you have us as your school counselors. We're here to support you, but really finding what each individual person what motivates them is really unique to that person. So the first step in really understanding and knowing what motivates you is to understand yourself. And to help you with this, we have put a personality quiz in a survey that we're going to send to you. So it'll be a link that you click on. It'll ask you a couple questions about this lesson, and it'll have a free personality quiz that you can take. It takes about 10 minutes. It's really quick, and the answers are really cool that you'll find out. So make sure you take that, and then you can share that information with people in your life. Once you take it, you'll get your results. You'll get 4 letters, and these are the categories of the 4 different personality types that you'll get. The first one's about your source of energy, whether it comes from outside of yourself, if you're an extrovert, or from within, if you're an introvert. The second area about sensors or intuitives is that how you process information. The next category is about thinkers and feelers, about how you approach decision making. And the last category is judgers or perceivers, is about how you like to live your outer life, how you like to be perceived from the outside. So definitely take that quiz. It's kind of cool to see a little bit more about yourself and how it affects things like school, how it affects your relationships in your life. And it's really interesting. It'll help give you a start to finding what motivates you. Starting off your high school career strong is really important. You're in ninth grade, your transcript starts the minute you start taking your high school classes. And right now it's time to find the motivation to do the best that you can do. All we can ask is for you as an individual to give us your best. Making a plan is really important. Organization is also a key factor. And if that's not your thing, that's okay. We understand that, but to make a plan that works for you will be really important. You can start off small. Getting involved is also really important, especially to feel that support. This year, more than ever, that connection can be really hard. We have a lot of clubs that they do meet virtually, but it's still something that can help you get involved and feel supported. You can check out the virtual offices that Miss Richards and I have. The link is also on our Google Classrooms. So you can click in there. It's also on the Spanish River website. So you can click on any club, To find out more information, we have the We Dine Together Club in our virtual office, that Google Classroom's in there, because that's a great club to start off if you're not sure. Finding enjoyment in your learning and pulling out all your motivation factors is a really important aspect in school. So you might be in a class that you find you're not really enjoying it, or you feel like it won't affect you in the long run. So really focusing on what motivates you to get you to that end goal will be really important.
All right, let's talk about GPA, what it is. What is a GPA? GPA is a grade point average, and a GPA is a way of converting your letter grades into a numerical scale. The grades that you earn in high school classes, they are all assigned a number, and then all these numbers are added up and averaged out to arrive at a cumulative grade, which is then converted into a GPA. So at Spanish River, we have GPA and we have HPA. Like I said, GPA is your grade point average. It is unweighted. There is no weight on there. And then we also have HPA. HPA is your honors point average, and it is weighted. So when you take honors classes or you take ACE or AP classes, you get a higher number for each of your grades. We'll talk about that in the next slide so you understand it. Now remember that your grades, your GPA, it's never anything personal, okay? Your teachers are not giving you your grades. You earn your grades by the work you turn in. So make it your best work ever. GPA is also considered as one of the main factors when you apply to college. So college admissions reps will be looking over your applications, and they're going to look at your GPA and weigh it pretty heavily. Okay, so like I said, GPA stands for grade point average. HPA stands for honors point average. And as you can see by this chart here, okay, all classes have a regular weighting, okay, and then our honors and AP classes also have a higher weighting. So for instance, if you're in a class that's an honors class and you get an A in there, then you get more points for that because that class is harder, there's more work. And if you're in an ACE or an AP class, your A is worth 6 points because that class is even harder than an honors class, okay? Bright Futures is a scholarship that you can earn by the state or from the state, and Bright Futures and universities, they will be looking at your HPA or your honors point average. All right, transcript. You're going to hear this word throughout high school, and you're going to need to know what it is. So if this is the first time you're hearing it, you need to know that it is a record of your academic accomplishments in high school. A transcript is going to list every single class that you took. It's going to say when you took it. It's going to say what grade you earned while you were in the class. And it's also going to include your standardized test scores. So it's important that you work very hard so that your grades are the best they can be, because they will be on your transcript. Here at Spanish River, we have two kinds of classes. We have our non-EOC classes. They award credit at the end of the semester. And then we have our EOC classes. Those are our year-long classes. We have 4 of those, and those award credit at the end of every year, at the end of the year. All right, so here's how your grades work in the non-EOC classes, okay? So you will get a final grade for each semester. So semester 1 this year ends at the end of January, all right? And the way that that semester grade that ends up on your transcript is calculated is right here. Your first quarter grade is going to be 40%, second quarter is 40%, and your midterm exam is going to be 20%. And those things are averaged up, and it will give you your semester 1 grade. Same thing happens for semester 2, okay, in a non-EOC class. You're going to have a third quarter grade worth 40, a fourth quarter grade worth 40, and an exam worth 20. And that will give you your second semester grade, which will also go on your transcript.
Now, just to give you a little chart, and of course, if you want, you can email us and we can email you this chart. It just lays out how your grades will work for these non-EOC classes. For instance, if you really struggled this quarter and you got a D, you could still work really hard, get an A next quarter, work on your final, or your midterm, get an A or B, and end up with a B as your semester 1 grade. So we wanted to show you this in the case that you are struggling. Perhaps you didn't do as well first quarter as you wanted to do, or as you know you could have done. And we didn't want that to deter you from working really hard and knowing that you can still get your grade up, and your semester one grade that will be on your transcript will be reflective of not just one quarter, but of 2 quarters and your midterm. We have 4 EOC classes, like Ms. Richards mentioned. We have Algebra 1, Geometry, Biology, and U.S. History. Here's how those EOC classes are graded. Each quarter is 15.4%. So each quarter's grade is worth 15.4% of your year-long grade. The semester one exam, or your midterm, is worth 8.4%. When you add those quarters and the semester one exam together, you get 70%. So that is worth 70% of your grade. The EOC, or end of course exam, that you'll have at the end of this school year is worth 30%. We understand that if you took an EOC class like algebra last year, we didn't offer EOCs due to the pandemic, and so it was graded a little differently. However, this year we anticipate to be able to give you guys or administer an EOC, and so this is how the grades will work for the EOC classes.
All right, so graduation requirements. Hoping that your goal is to graduate. So when your goal is to graduate, you need to know how you're going to get there, correct? So in order to graduate, you need to earn 24 credits, okay? One of those credits needs to be a virtual class. So most students are getting their virtual credits by taking either a Palm Beach virtual school class or taking a Florida virtual school class, okay? Another graduation requirement is that you need to pass the 10th grade FSA with a 3 or above. You also need to pass the Algebra 1 EOC with a 3 or above. You also need an overall GPA in all of your classes, the unweighted GPA of a 2.0 in order to graduate. Everyone will need 1 physical education or PE credit, and there are 3 ways here that you can earn that PE credit. You will also need a practical or performing art credit, and there's a lot of classes that we offer that fall into that category, so usually students don't really have a hard time meeting that graduation requirement. You will also need a minimum of 20 hours of community service, and that's just to graduate. Those are due December 1st of your junior year. Please note though, if you are trying to earn Bright Futures or other scholarships, they're going to require more hours. So you're going to need to start shooting for 75 or 100 hours for that. I want you to know, some of you might be sitting there going, well, what in the world counts in all this stuff? You know what? Everything you do counts, okay? Every class you take is going to count. It's going to end up on your transcript. Every homework assignment you do counts. Every quiz you take counts. Every test, every lab, every single point. Everything counts, okay? So now we have something exciting coming up. We have some upperclassmen who are going to be talking to you about their experience in the 9th grade and maybe some things that they wish they would have done a little bit differently.
When I was a freshman, I wish I knew more about clubs and after-school activities because it really matters during the college application process.
I wish I knew about more sports and clubs and honor societies that I could have joined and been a part of for years.
I wish I knew to join more clubs, be more involved in school, and don't be scared to do whatever I feel like, wear what clothes I want, do whatever I want. That's in the school rules.
I wish I followed in high school was to be more serious academically in sophomore and freshman year.
Advice I wish I got freshman year was that your resume and the clubs and extracurriculars that you do throughout the year are equally as important as your GPA.
One of the best things that I was told as a freshman is that test scores don't determine your future.
Some of the best advice that I received when I was a freshman was really to stay true to yourself. Don't let your peers change you or influence you in a negative way, and always look on the bright side of things. And if you give a good work ethic on a consistent basis, you can really achieve so many things that you never dreamed possible.
Be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can wear whatever you want. You can be who you want to be. You can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. That is your choice. And you make that choice, and that can decide whether you're successful or you're not.
Thanks to our upperclassmen for that short clip to our freshmen. And now, all ninth graders, please make sure you take that survey that we're going to be emailing to you. It will have that motivation and GPA information lesson survey. It's going to have that personality quiz in there. That'll take you about 10 minutes. The overall survey will be pretty quick, and we really appreciate you doing this. Thank you for joining us. I hope you gained some knowledge and feel supported by us. Definitely reach out to Miss Richards or I if you need us for anything. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.